Alright, this is gonna be round two now that we have information. Okay. Quicker. Mystery. Unavoidable. Fantastic. 5 combo, great. Combo starter is always great. Knockdown selected unit, who cares? That's cool though. I mean, anything that's a combo starter that he can use every round except for round one, well, if you reset him, you can use him round one, is going to be good. Then, the coolest thing. Sekizo? Sekio? I don't fuck. It says it differently in both places. He seals them. He does a seal, new debuff, and this new debuff is cool because it's irremovable and um cannot control fail. So if you put him P4, he can still control P1 every time. That's fantastic. I'm pretty sure both of his debuffs can. So the one from the mystery makes it so that whoever he applies it to cannot execute any actions. No chase, no standard. I don't think triggers either, but I don't know. Triggers are a little more complicated. Probably not triggers either. Um, and then the one from his standard is just they can't execute standard attacks. Please keep in mind whenever he applies the debuff to someone, he also applies it to himself, so he loses anything. He doesn't have a chase anyways, but he has a standard and mystery. So, Battlefield cooldown 1, no cooldown, no chakra. So he can use it every other round, doesn't cost anything. So he can sit P4 and be a threat of locking your. If you don't deal with him, like if you have a Shisui P1 and a guy get P4 fighting um, just a Shisui on the enemy team, like they can lock you, but then you can take away the rest of their actions for the round. And then, they'll probably lock you next round. Depends on if they precast the mystery and can use it round 3. But point is, like, he's a threat. He's a threat from P4, and he's even more of a threat than that. So, anyways, so standard, that's a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't fucking matter. It hits a row, and everybody that gets hit um, gets this new debuff where they can't execute standard attacks, which is really good. But he's probably only going to use it round 1 unless he gets cooldown increase, which could happen. Now, the thing that makes him probably meta is going to be when he's defeated, he executes this attack. And he's weird because it's not like Hiruzen. He can't be defeated unless he executes this attack. So what happens is let's say there's like 200 chases queued up. He will take all 200 chases right on the chin. Okay? His dick will get harder with every chase until they stop. Then he will kill himself and then fly forward with the dragon kick of doom, and it does massive damage. Like I've seen, I don't know, we'll see when it gets to the end, but like there have been videos where it was like a 900k or something versus like a 2 mil, and it did 120k, and they do not have 120k. He's one-shotting P1s from P4. Like even if it's not a one shot, even if it's like 80%, that's devastating. That's enough to win. But the thing is, the way the mechanic works is he attacks a line in front of him. Now he can't miss, so if there's nothing in front of him, he'll attack the next line up. So he will hit someone. But like this can win you the fight alone because like let's say your lower power or the P4 is squish as fuck, and they kill your backline and your guy just happens to be lined up with their P1, bye-bye P1. You lose just from that. That's why he's going to be meta, because all he has to do is stand there and he will win the fight for you potentially. Or he'll take out more units. Or, and the same thing, let's say you're the one who's faster and you took their backline out and they are starting to come back a little bit and they kill your guy. Well, you only have your P1 left, right? And once it's 1 P1 versus 4 units and guy dies, he's going to target the P1 because it's the only thing to target with the on death. So that's fucking broken. It's crazy mechanic. It's going to change. It's very hard to counter. How counters are, it's pure tie. So Madara Founder and Madara Trash Can are immune to it, but come on, they're not really making much of an impact. They're not gonna. You put them P1, they're not gonna win the fucking fight for you. And then like what is it, Hashi, Kid, and then Kurenai Kimono. Yeah, they can reduce damage taken to 1. That will work too. You can technically yeet him. I'm not sure how that will work. It's gonna be a little weird. So whatever. Okay. Moving on. So how's this passive? The on death. Anyways, the on death that he has to cause. He has to activate the passive himself. Anyways, so trigger. Before an action, consume 10% HP to increase attack by 60%. It's a lot of scaling, but he doesn't live very long because he can't heal, by the way. No way to heal him. And his initiative by 5%. That only stacks at 15. Now, something to keep in mind. If you have a debuff on you that prevents you to gain buffs and shields, like Discouragement from Shisui's Y, or Gar Swimsuit applies it when at the start of every turn if he hits you with the Sand Wave. That only hits a limited amount of targets, so in like a war or DB scenario, you're not going to get hit. In 1v1, you're going to get hit. So it's like how Jiraiya Toad Chant works, and the initiative will not apply if you have that debuff on you. But Shisui's explosive mode initiative will apply. That doesn't, because we have different rules for every buff and debuff and scaling, but depending on what unit it is, and it's all very intuitive. But anyways, point is, he can become very fast, and if you're like at my power, like 5 mil, you can run him P1, and then have your P2 and P1 are pretty much the same strength. You can run like Shisui P2, and then you can guy their Shisui, and then you can Shisui their Shisui, and then you don't have to worry about Shisui again. Or you can just like Shisui their guy if they have it, and you don't have to worry about being locked. But basically, being faster continues to be the most important fucking thing in a guy world. And basically, yeah, whatever. Like I said, whenever before the action though, when the trigger happens, he does gain super armor level 2, so you can't chase him. So he counters Ashura. Like if we get Guy before we get Ashura, or if we get Ashura and then like a little bit before Guy, Ashura and Meta and Ian, it's gonna fucking die. Like maybe for people that can't afford a full Suku that just somehow have Ashura 4-star, but even then Shisui is much easier to use and not as hard to or not as easily counted as Ashura, because Guy's always going to be the lowest HP and he's going to have super armor on him, so you're literally not going to chase him. Yeah, it sucks. Ashura is very easy to counter. Anyways, and he has a high chance of evading standards, but who gives a shit, because everything that has a standard that matters is unavoidable anyways. Okay, passive 2. He comes with super armor and is immune to debuffs, but he cannot heal. Literally, there's nothing you can do to heal him. Every time he executes a mystery skill, he consumes an additional 10% HP. So if on round 1 he standards, he loses 10% HP and he scales 60%. Round 2, he mysteries, he loses 20% HP and he only scales 60%. He does not scale for every HP he consumes in the trigger. He, however, does scale for every 1% HP he loses. Your entire lineup will have their attack increased by 2% and crit increased by 1. But the sad part about this scaling, it's not like Danzo or what is it, Sage Kabuto. Not Sage Kabuto, Snake Cloak Kabuto. The scaling does not persist after the unit is dead. So the moment he dies, and he will die unless you're really fucking destroying your opponent, because he kills himself in what? So 10%, 20, 20, 20. Yeah, he's dead. Like what, 4 rounds maybe? And assuming he's taking no damage, he's gonna die in 4 rounds. So like, whatever. Anyways, point is, the scaling goes with him, which is whatever. Oh, also keep in mind that when he does his on death effect, he deletes himself, and anybody killed by that attack is deleted too. So there is no reviving if you die by it, and you cannot revive him. They are deleted. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, here's the fucking Yagai. It's unavoidable in a line in front based on his max HP. In Arena, this was hitting for 20k. 20 fucking k. That's double most units' average HP in Arena. And a hit, it's broken. Okay? In Arena, he's gonna be 8. If you fight him, you're gonna want to cry, because he's gonna kill like a line of people. So you better like have your thing split across 3 lines. So at best, he can only take out 2. And okay, that's it. So he's gonna be meta. I just wanted to update this. He can be P4, he can be P1, he can be P2. He probably won't be P1 unless you're like 4 mil, 5 mil, because you have to be faster than your opponent. But 5% scaling on his first action is pretty easy now. We don't have Gar Swimsuit yet. Gar Swimsuit, like if you run like Guy P1, Shisui P2, Gar Swimsuit P3, you're preventing the opponent from ever scaling initiative outside of Shisui. So if you're faster, you will continue to be faster. for example. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think he's actually broken. I think he's definitely, if you're competitive, he's worth doing. He's probably going to be in the December Suku coming up, and I think he's definitely worth finishing the Suku for. Like arena, he's going to be insane. 1v1, he's going to be insane. Even now, like now that we know, I was worried that his on death effect would miss. So like let's say it's war and you have a 20k in front of you alongside a 4 mil and you kill the 20k and your guy dies and he just attacks the row in front of him, there's nothing there. I was like, well, I mean, I guess that's fair. The mechanic's pretty overpowered. No, no, no. He picks a freaking row that has ninjas in it and then goes. So it's very scary. He threatens insta killing your P1 from any position. And like there's like little to no counter to that. The counters are like basically give yourself immunity to tie, which I guess can happen. I don't know if we get a unit that gives immunity to tie, that'd be interesting. And then give yourself the ability to only take 1 damage, which are on units, but you're dedicating a slot to that. Basically, at low power where your P1 is your fucking carry, it's going to be very hard to fight him. And my power, where like P1, P2, P3, and P4 to an extent can all be scary. I mean, the main is never going to be scary damage-wise. So whatever position the main's in is not scary, but the rest of the positions can all kind of be carries if they're a threat. Like if I'm running Guy, Shisui, and Ashura, I don't think I'd run that, but you know, it could be scary. Or I don't know, just pick another P3 that does damage. Then you can take out my Shisui. My Guy is gonna take out something of yours, and then I still have my P3 potentially. It's just whatever. It's up in the air. But yeah, that's gonna be my second take on this. He's fucking strong. He's gonna be meta, and most people don't do full Sukus. I can't talk, so they can't get him. But when you see him in arena, you're gonna want to instant retreat even more than when you see Shisui. There's no counter. Like I can't even imagine how hard he hits scaling 60% attack every round. Like if you can once we get like Psy suit BT where you put the dogs down that increase chakra costs on the enemy field and they just stand there while you just beat the living shit out of them. Like yeah, run Psy suit or like Guy Shisui Psy suit, okay? What the fuck are they gonna do against that? They just stand there. They can't cast any mysteries, so they just stand there round 1, and then round 2 you Guy whoever the threat is, you Shisui the other threat, and it's over. And then let's say somehow they kill Guy because it's like you know no the Psy suit counters Oro team, so it's finally an arena team that's so pay to win that you literally I'm sure there might be a counter to it, but it just doesn't seem like it because the Lions come out I think like at the start of the round, so you can put the Lions there and then they literally cannot counter you at all. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. All right, yeah, rambling over. I found like a space-time video that has like 3 fights with people using Guy in it in China, and I want to analyze them and make a video about it. That'll be next.